Hello, everyone. This is Radhika, and you are watching Grieving and Giving in Retirement, where we discuss our best life in retirement or early retirement, giving back to our communities, local or global, and the glue that holds it all together, financial freedom. I am shooting this video in January. Nope, actually, I think now it's February 2025 in Bogota, Colombia. And in today's video, I want to talk about giving. In other videos, I've mentioned that I have a not-for-profit called A Childhood for Children that I founded in 2012. So we're going to be 13 years this year. And what we do is we fulfill the basic needs of impoverished children. And what that means is we provide essential items to children. So it's hygiene items, including sanitary pads and diapers, food, basic food like rice, lentils, flour, oil, as well as some breakfast items and fortified baby formula. And we also provide shoes and socks, sweaters, school supplies, including textbooks. In 2025, we will be supporting approximately 5,000 children in several countries. And we don't just give things and go away. That's the easy part. Giving is easy. We want to spend time with the children. Now, we are able to provide essential items to so many children because we collaborate with other organizations. A Childhood for Children is a grassroots volunteer-based organization so that 100% of the donations we receive benefit the children. And how does that happen? Now, in previous videos, I've said this. I put my money where my mouth is. So I have already made sure that all our administrative costs, which by the way are super modest, are already covered, that I've already covered them. I already put money into this organization right on the front end, and I was working for an employer at the time that matched dollar for dollar. And all this, by the way, is public information because in the United States, you have to file your tax returns and disclose all this information if you have donations above a certain threshold. How fortunate was I that I worked for an employer that matched dollar for dollar all my donations and those of my colleagues into the organization. So thank you to everybody who made all of that possible. Now, like I said, I am shooting this video in Bogota, Colombia, where I've been for about the last 3-4 weeks. Now, we came down here for medical checkups and medical insurance reasons, but that doesn't mean that there's only one purpose to each trip. Of course not. As part of A Childhood for Children, we have two strategies: a recurring strategy and a travel with a purpose strategy. So every time, whether I travel or somebody else travels, they can connect with us. If somebody wants to take time out of their vacation and do something good in the world, we want to be with those people, right? So I'm down here in Bogota, Colombia. So we collaborate with an organization called Fundación Quiero Verte Sonreír, which means Foundation I Want to See You Smile. They are actually helping children through sports and activities. This organization helps children deal with stress by teaching them breathing exercises. They actually have soccer camps for the children in their neighborhood, which again, as many of you know, sports can be a really good way to keep children as part of a community and keep them out of trouble as well. So last Sunday, we coordinated with them, providing essential items to the children. Schools are starting up in Bogota, Colombia, so we provided notebooks, pencils, pens to the older children, and we also provided socks, soap, and we provided sanitary pads to girls. Sanitary pads is one of my biggest pet peeves around the world, as is diapers, but we won't get into those. So we provided that to the older girls. So about 200 children in the Soacha neighborhood. And it wouldn't have been possible if we didn't collaborate with another organization, because we are going with them, through them. They kind of help us figure out where we can buy the supplies, where can you get the best prices. So in this case, if we went to a regular store, let's say a notebook would cost 4,000 pesos, which is approximately $1, one notebook for $1. But by their network and them knowing people, we were able to get notebooks for less than half the cost, which means we could buy more notebooks and we could give notebooks to more children. Now, every year we set up a budget for travel with a purpose. And whether it's me who's traveling or somebody else, we have so many projects and so many dollars allocated to our travel with a purpose strategy. And lots of people have done this. In fact, we've had 2 separate families go to Kenya, Nairobi, Kenya, 3 different times, by the way, and they've done projects with an organization. And I've never been to Nairobi, so it's not always me. We've had people who went to Nepal to trek on Annapurna, and they did a project with an orphanage in Kathmandu. So as part of Travel with a Purpose, here I am in Bogota, Colombia. And by the way, this is our 17th country in which we have done projects. Collaborated with other amazing organizations to provide essential items to children to fulfill their very basic needs. And we're able to do it because our donors are so loyal to us. And for that, I am so grateful. I am so humbled that so many people support our cause and our objective. Now, I'll say this, 100%, I'll say it again, 100% of your donations that we receive into our account directly benefit the children. We use those funds to buy things for the children. Now, I've had a lot of people say, this doesn't work, this isn't right, why don't you do it this way? Why don't you do it that way? And folks, there's a ton of ways you can do this. Ton of ways to do this. But you know, sometimes when people tell you you can't do something, you kind of feel like, I'll show them. That's definitely in me, a little bit of that stubborn streak that says, go ahead, tell me I can't do it, and I'll find a way to do it. It may not be like the 100% solution, but it'll, let's say 95, 98%. And in the time that maybe, so one of the things people have told me is like, why don't you partner with, let's say, a shoe company to give out shoes and socks? But by the time I get through all that rigmarole, the red tape, even companies have red tape, by the way, the children still don't have shoes and socks. And I don't have the patience to keep seeing children run around without shoes and socks. So sometimes you've got to think about it that way. Like, what is the best way to fulfill the objective? And if the objective is to provide essential items to the children, then sometimes you can't wait for the bestest. I know, I said bestest. The most optimal solution. Sometimes you've got to look at the situation as it is, read the tea leaves and say, this is the best option in this moment. Let's move forward. It's no point waiting for the best sale to come along for school supplies when the children are starting school now, right? So that's what we're doing here in Bogota, Colombia. We came here for medical appointments, but that doesn't mean I can't overlap it by doing a travel with a purpose strategy and spend time with the children, give back, and just take those few days to plan this project, go shopping, buy all the supplies, and go out and spend time with the children in high fives and hugs. And that's exactly what it was. And a bonus for me was that I got to practice my Spanish with the children, because that's probably the level I'm at right now. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I am Radhika. This is Grooving and Giving in Retirement or Early Retirement, where we talk about living our best life, and the glue that holds it all together, financial freedom. Thank you so much.